The Patagonian toothfish, one of the most valuable fish in the world. Found in the cruel seas of the Antarctic, it's being fished to extinction by a lucratively backed consortium of pirate boats. In part 1, we showed how Alistair Graham and his pressure group Isofish, backed by law-abiding fishing interests in Australia together with Greenpeace, were prepared to track pirate vessels halfway across the Southern Ocean.
Here it comes! Here it comes!
And in this episode, we show how the French Navy has decided on the ultimate way to get rid of captured pirate boats, by sinking them. Ugly though it may look, the Patagonian toothfish plundered in southern oceans finds its way into fashionable European and Japanese restaurants under acceptable names, like Californian sea bass and Antarctic sea bass. The problem is, this white fish is so valuable, it's being wiped out by pirates.
The fish is called white gold for very good reasons. And at the moment it's fetching prices around $10 per kilogram landed, which is an awful lot of money.
In just 2 weeks, an illegal vessel can land $1 million worth of fish. In part 1, we showed how the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean has become the port where Norwegian and Spanish pirates land toothfish. Another member of Alistair Graham's Isofish group is Australian Jeff Williamson. He's investigating pirate boats who catch fish inside the territorial waters of some French islands.
It's quite obvious that the illegal trade here has a cover. They move in and out of the port quite freely, their boats are disguised, their registrations are illegal. There is quite a strong police presence throughout the wharves and at the gates. They have a very practical approach to this trade. It generates money for the economy of Mauritius.
200 nautical miles from Mauritius is the French island of Réunion. In Réunion is an entire squadron of the French Navy, monitoring suspect vessels. Pirate vessels caught fishing illegally in French territorial waters are detained in Réunion Harbor. 5, mostly Spanish-owned, are held here, under the noses of the Navy boats. Francisco Rodriguez, Spanish captain of the longliner Vierasa Doce, won't be going anywhere today. The only fish his boat is likely to catch is from the cook's hand line in the harbor. The Vierasa Doce was arrested by the French Navy 18 months ago, charged with poaching toothfish inside the French territorial waters of the Kerguelen Islands. The boat has been in Réunion Harbor ever since. 100 meters away is Captain Rodriguez's adversary, Lieutenant Commander Michel Leclerc. He commands the French Navy squadron in Réunion and is captain of the patrol boat Albatross.
In 1998, we have catch 10 ships, and in 1999, only 1.
For allegedly fishing illegally, the Vierasa Doce is waiting judgment from a French court in Réunion.
We cannot leave.
You cannot leave
Yes,
this port.
yes.
You must stay here.
Yes, the penalty for leave the 45 million French francs.
45 million
Yes.
French francs.
Yes.
The penalty if you leave this port.
Yes.
You are not been proved guilty by any court.
Yeah.
And you have been kept in this port for more than 1 year.
Yes.
Tell us how you find these illegal fishing vessels.
We can see a buoy.
Right, so sometimes you just see these marker buoys for fishing lines in the ocean, and then you would investigate.
When we see a fishing buoy, we stay around this buoy to wait the illegal fishing vessels we are able to carry in. Sometimes we were waiting for 1 or 2 days.
Do you get a good price for this fish?
Yes, yes.
So it's worthwhile to go to these very cold waters and work under very hard conditions.
Sometimes you need to go and there's risk. Okay, risk, but it's my risk.
Yeah.
If the 10 vessels, maybe 7 can work, 3 arrested.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bad luck, you know.
Only bad luck. Can you tell us about the technical capability of your radar as compared to the radar of these illegal fishing boats?
The radar is about the same on each ship. As the albatross is a little bigger than the other ship, the small illegal ship can detect us.
What you are saying then, that the fishing boat may find you on its radar because you are much larger first, than the Navy may see on its radar. So maybe they have a little tiny advantage. What is the range of this radar? How far may you plot out?
Range, you know, is maybe 120 miles.
About 120 miles.
Yes.
Can you tell the difference between a fishing vessel and maybe a naval vessel on this radar?
You can, for deduction, for his speed. If you look one vessel, it's approaching 30 knots, maybe.
Tell us a little about what happens when you find one of these vessels that you think is illegally fishing.
We call him by radio, international radio. We say to him stop, and we send a group to the ship of about 10 or 12 persons. We question somebody on board. Perhaps somebody say, well, yes, 2 days ago we were fishing, and another one say, well, yes, 3 days ago we were there. Then after we go to the captain and we say, oh, this person has said that you are fishing 2 days ago.
When the French authorities boarded this vessel to arrest it, what did they do? Send on some soldiers?
Yes, gun.
They come on with guns?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And everybody go on deck.
Yeah.
Captain here, arrested.
There have been less arrests this year by the French Navy and you are pleased with the results. But maybe they have better information. Maybe the illegal boats now know when the naval patrol vessels leave port.
Oh yes, the movement of albatross when he is going out of this harbour is not a secret. I can't forbid anybody phoning illegal captain. Oh, albatross is gone from La Réunion, take care.
Perhaps less boats were arrested last year because of the tough line the French are taking here. In Reunion Harbour there are 4 other captured fishing boats. Interestingly, the Spaniard who owns the Vierasa Doce also owns the Antonio Lorenzo, whose time is now up. Stripped of its engine and valuable electronics, it's being towed out to sea to be scuppered by the French Navy. The Antonio Lorenzo is valued today at 4 million French francs. So the French imposed a larger sum as a fine, 6 million French francs on the vessel. The owner refused to pay. Lorenzo was seized by the patrol boat Albatross in autumn 1998 for fishing illegally around the French Kerguelen Islands. Back in Mauritius, stories of boats being sunk by the French at nearby Reunion are beginning to have an effect. And with pressure from Isofish, Alistair Graham's organisation, the Mauritius government have become aware of the damaging publicity of allowing pirates to dock with their illegal catch. Environmentally minded tourists could be put off visiting the island. After the fleet of boats that had been fishing around Crozet docked and unloaded before Christmas, we had assumed the dealers would have plenty of toothfish to sell, but things were changing.
There seem to be quite a few Mauritian companies directly involved with the Patagonian toothfish trade. The most obvious of these is the very old colonial company Island Blythe Limited. It has direct involvement in the toothfish trade, in unloading the fish, transshipping the fish for the owners and providing services for the boats.
Posing as fish buyers, Earth Report went round trying to buy toothfish from companies that had been seen unloading from ships in the past, and had also been named by the French government. First, we asked Ireland Blythe to sell us some.
Yeah, unfortunately, Mr. Beckham. We were handling previously, but now, since there have been some problems, we're not handling anything.
We were sent to Adam & Company, an Ireland Blythe subsidiary on the port that deals directly with vessels as they unload.
Is there much toothfish around?
This year is less vessel coming for toothfish because apparently there's somebody's complaining to the government about the toothfish is protected fish. So yes, last year we got more vessel, but this year is a bit less vessel coming.
I was told there were some Spanish ships in last week.
Yeah.
With toothfish. Did you hear about that? Or?
I heard about this. Yes.
Another of the companies that has a very strong involvement within the trade is Happy World Marine Group. This company has acted directly as agents for some of the boats and has been involved in the unloading and transshipping of fish into the Southeast Asian markets.
Toothfish? No, it's not available here. It's not available.
They told me there were some boats in last week, Spanish boats.
We have better fish, not the toothfish.
Happy World Marine Group told us to try another company.
Scott is marketing it in Mauritius. Scott & Co.
Scott & Co.
Yeah.
Where are they? Whereabouts are they?
At Wichtea.
Patagonian toothfish.
We don't have the right to bring toothfish here. We used to do it in the past, and we have to stop it.
He volunteered to help us by ringing a friend at Ireland Blythe again.
It's banned. We can't do anything with that.
What was suddenly going on? In November of last year, French President Jacques Chirac flew to a meeting with the Prime Minister of Mauritius. One of the things they discussed was the Patagonian toothfish. It was proposed that in return for the tiny French island of Tromelin, north of Réunion, to be passed to Mauritius, the Mauritian authorities would close their port to illegal catch. Political pressure was beginning to work. Discussions are still going on, and the pirates may have to go elsewhere. Until recently, Norway was also a base for unscrupulous toothfish poachers. Renegade owners were mainly situated round the fishing port of Bergen, but pressure from Alistair Graham's organisation has almost closed down Norway's illegal operators. This man, Magna Hisdal, is a rich man in the port of Bergen. Not so long ago, he had a fleet of 4 boats operating in the Southern Ocean. He bought this hotel, the Terminus in Bergen. He also owns a fine yacht, the Andrea, moored in a fjord near the port. Hisdal's boats, like this one, the Alicia Glaciale, were secretly fishing in the Southern Ocean in the territorial waters of Australia and France. Then they were photographed by Isofish unloading toothfish in Mauritius harbour. Alistair Graham used information from contacts in Norway to highlight the scandal.
We were able to create a climate of opinion that simply made it very hard for these people to continue. By simply providing information to people in Norway, in government, banks, insurance companies, through the fishing industry, through newspapers.
In particular, Alistair Graham persuaded Norway's newspapers to write about the country's role in poaching toothfish. Per Ellingsen of the popular daily Dagbladet.
When they build the boats in Norway, the state give some million crowns to each boat. This is Alicia Glacial. This got subsidized from the Norwegian state. It got 7.5 million Norwegian crowns from the state just to build this boat.
£500,000?
Yeah, that's right.
Then the Alicia Glacial was arrested by the Australian Navy for poaching inside Australian waters. There was a scandal.
The Norwegian community as a whole was not comfortable with some of its members engaging in activities which were against the law of friendly countries like Australia or South Africa, and behaving in a way which generally undermined Norway's reputation in the world as a reputable and responsible country.
We wrote about it in my newspaper and in some other newspapers. My newspaper had over 50 reports about this. They told the government to clean up, and this is not good for the Norwegians. I think it was the next day the Foreign Department decided to put one of the most experienced one to work with this.
And that resulted in legislation, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Public pressure and embarrassment forced Norway to come up with tough new laws. A blacklist system has virtually wiped out the Norwegian pirates. Peter Gullerstad is Norway's director of fishing.
We have developed quite an effective legislation to solve this problem. And that is that vessels who has conducted illegal or unregulated fisheries in the Kamlar area or in other areas, they can be denied license to fish in Norwegian waters. The legislation goes both after the owner of the vessel, who can be denied a license, but it also goes after the physical vessel who participated in that unregulated fishery. It has been a success in the sense that the second-hand value of vessels who are on the blacklist is very low. And investors who want to buy second-hand vessels won't touch these vessels.
The Rita, once called the Cindy, is thought to be the only known Norwegian-owned boat that is prepared to risk piracy. For 3 months, it tried to get a license to fish legally for toothfish. Because of the Cindy's past history of piracy, this was refused. Then it changed its name to the Rita, and crew members told us they were setting sail for the French Kerguelen Islands, supposedly to pirate toothfish.
Is the captain here? Where is the captain? Can I come on board?
Yes. Posing as fish buyers, Earth Report went on board to ask about the boat's intentions.
The captain. The captain? Where's the captain? Captain. Are you the captain? Hello. Hello. I'm a fish trader. I'm trying to buy some toothfish. They say you are sailing today, yes?
Yes.
When will you be back?
About 2 months.
Could I buy some from you?
You know Lars Doer in Oslo. Norman fishing.
Norman fishing in
Oslo.
Norman fishers.
They're selling it to Japan.
They introduced us to this man, Mike Clark, they claimed was the owner. But he then denied they were sailing to Kerguelen for toothfish.
I tried to buy some toothfish.
I don't fish toothfish. It's better fish we fish. Better fish.
Better fish?
Yes.
But where they said you were going to Kerguelen.
Who said?
The crew, somebody on the crew.
No. And who are you?
I'm a fish trader from London.
So the Rita, formerly the Cindy, set sail, we believe, for the Kerguelen Islands. However, one thing is certain. If the Rita ever returns to Norway, it will be blacklisted. In Norway, we filmed Terry Kirkland, until recently a shareholder in the Cindy before it became the Rita.
Is it worth the risk fishing illegally there?
Yes, if you want to earn good money in a short time, yes, it is. But I don't want to go down there again.
Did Cindy make a lot of money?
I'm not involved in Cindy anymore.
You were once, you were a partner, were you?
Yes, I were when I started to.
But it's too much of a risk to fish illegal?
It's too much, the risk is too big.
What is the risk? Can you explain them?
If you be taken by the French, for example, or Australian or New Zealand, they take the boat, they take everything. So why the Norwegian disappear from the area is the risk is too big. The Norwegian government, they said to me, for example, they said, if you don't stop, we put use the same roads as they have on the whale catching. If a Norwegian go outside Norway, start fishing or hunting whales illegally, then they can take everything away from him.
In Norway, in the port of Haugesund, Earth Report approached the man thought to be the Cindy's real owner, Oddvar Vea. His boats have often been sighted fishing illegally.
Hello, Mr. Oddvar Vea.
Yeah.
Your boat, the Cindy, now called the Rita, was in Mauritius just before Christmas, about to sail to collect illegal toothfish.
Nothing with the Cindy. I sold all the vessel.
That's not what the crew told us.
No. Nothing.
They said you owned the Rita.
No. And nothing with this thing.
So you don't own it anymore?
Only more. This is the my Clark and Clark fishing in Cape Town. So I have nothing more.
You don't own the Rita or the Cindy anymore?
Only more.
When did you sell them?
I think this 1.5 years ago.
According to Lloyd's shipping register, Mike Clark doesn't own the Rita. Although the boat is now registered with a different company, the ownership hasn't changed. It's not surprising that Oddvar Vea denies ownership of the Rita. Under Norwegian law, he stands to lose everything. So how large are the pirate fleets today? Alistair Graham's efforts and tough legislation have been responsible for largely freeing the seas of Norwegian pirates. And a question mark still hangs over the port of Mauritius. Tough action from the French Navy and Alistair Graham's Isofish group means it's no longer a safe haven for unloading pirate catch. Spain remains Alistair Graham's chief concern for the illegal trade. In the port of Vigo, Europe's largest for fish, there are as many as 5 big Spanish companies which plunder the Southern Ocean.
The Spanish fishing industry is notoriously tough and inured against criticisms from other countries and other fishing industries. It's very embarrassing for Spain in general that one or more Spanish fishing companies should be involved in illegal and unregulated fishing around the world.
Unless Spanish-owned boats stop piracy, commercial stocks of Patagonian toothfish are in danger of being wiped out within the next 3 years.